start of week 18. It's going to be really loud, lots of traffic. I was told after 2 weeks I could try running. Today is 2 weeks. Didn't even make it through the warm up, and I knew right away running was not going to happen. But because I'm stubborn and because I'm hopeful, I tried running. I was like, I'll even do intervals. So I am walking and running and giving it a break. So I was going to do 90-30. I made it the first 90 seconds and wanted to cry because it hurt so bad. Walked for 30 and decided, okay, I'll flip those. Run for 30, walk for 90. And I tried to walk again at the 30 seconds. I'm sorry, I tried to run again at the 30 seconds. And nope, it was too much pain. I'm like, this is ridiculous. I'm just going to hurt myself if I keep doing it. So I stopped and I just finished the time. My coach gave me walk times and some run times just in case I was able to run. So she said walk for 50 minutes. So I just decided I'd only run for 5 minutes. I made it just under a half mile before I gave up. So I'm walking for another 45. I'm almost done, like 10 minutes left. And I'm in a considerable amount of pain. So definitely not running. I did consult. Oh, that smells. I did consult Google MD because isn't that what everybody does? And everything I came up with was 6 to 12 weeks, with the average being 6 weeks to recover from hip bursitis. So let's say I'm 3 weeks in from the original injury. Let's say I have hopefully 3 weeks and I'll start feeling better. That basically puts me after Space Coast and hopefully feeling better in time to get a couple long runs in before Goofy. So I think my plan will be, I only have 1 more week before I have to decide about switching. I think at this point I will just switch to the half. If anything, I can walk the half. The time limit for the half marathon in Space Coast is 7 hours. Considering I did 10 miles in 3 hours, let's say 13 miles, a half marathon, take me 4 hours, hopefully. So it should be okay. And we'll just call it a nice long training block. My family drove right past me and didn't even see me. I was waving like a fool. So I'm hoping I'll start to feel better in another 3-4 weeks. Squeeze 2 long runs in before Goofy and hopefully just have enough juice to get through Goofy. I do not run Disney for time. I do stop for characters. So maybe, standing in line will give me a nice rest period to keep moving. Like I said, I don't run it for time. So, if it takes me 3.5 hours for the half and 7 hours from the marathon, so be it. But since I did raise money, I really want to make sure I can get those runs, those races in. Want to honor those who donated money to help me get into the race. So we'll see. It's a waiting game, I guess, and I am not patient. I don't like waiting, so this is hard. I'm used to just let's push through and power through and fix it, and I can't do that. But I will say the cold front that moved in, absolutely fabulous. It is 3:30, 4 o'clock in the afternoon. I am in long sleeves and long pants. Pants all the way down. I never wear pants all the way down to the ankle when I'm running because I would get so hot otherwise. It's nice. I enjoy it. It's going to leave us, but it's a nice little blast of fall before we return to real fall, I guess. I don't know. Okay, see you maybe tomorrow or Thursday. Hello, it is Thursday of week 18. I am once again walking. Ever since Tuesday when I tried to run, I have been in a decent amount of pain, more pain than I had been in the last couple weeks, just on a daily basis for daily movement, just sitting, trying to sleep, walking around. Sorry, looking for a gator. So I'm a little concerned. That's all right. My coach had assumed I'd be able to run by now, so she put run walk 4 miles on today. I don't have time to walk 4 miles, so kind of just took it as, well, walking 4 miles would take me so many minutes, so that's how many minutes I'm gonna walk today. It is run club day, so I'm doing half of it now, and I'll finish the other half of the walk once we officially start our club run. Listening to Surviving Sister Wives. They have a sister podcast called Surviving Reality, and so I'm listening to them recap Seeking Sister Wife. I've not watched the show this season. Like, I know it's hard, so I just listened to their recap about it. It's so much fun to listen to it and not have to watch the show. So again, if you all watch I call it trash reality TV, mostly on TLC or Bravo or, any of those channels. They do a lot of recap. So I highly recommend them. They're funny and snarky without being cruel, I think would be a good one. All right, I'll see you later. All right, I'm on the second half of my walk, and I am on base today. I'm on Navy base, and sometimes they can be so sterile and boring, obviously, because they're military bases. They're not supposed to be fancy, or at least the Navy ones aren't. Or I should say the ones my husband has been stationed to have never been fancy, but this is my favorite part of the base. It's just this little nature area. They preserved all the trees, and there's a little creek, and there is a little nature walk, and it's so pretty. It's nice in the summer. You get some shade, and I like it. So I wanted to share it with you. Good morning. It's Friday. I'm out for my walk. I'm not going to do 4 miles just because I got out late. So I'm going to do an hour, and I'm 12 minutes into that hour. So now I'm 15 minutes in. I'm exhausted. I didn't even try to put in contacts today. It was a rough night between my 2 kids. I'm not sure. Something happened with Megan's sensor, and I didn't connect, and so it was in manual mode, which meant she kept going low, and I kept feeding her Starburst, and I just had to wait for it to finally connect, which it did this morning. So it was a long night, and then I got to bed really late because of my older kid and teenagers, and so a long night, very little sleep. Didn't even bother putting in contacts. If I can squeeze in a nap today, I may try. Probably won't happen, but one can hope, right? So I'm so tired, I can't. We'll just see. It feels pretty good right now, but I remember I did take a leave before I went to bed, so I may still be at the tail end of the 12 hours of the leave. I'll find out later today how it feels. That's it for now. All right, I am 45 minutes in, so just 15 minutes to go. I'm working on speed just in case I can't run by Goofy. I'm hoping I can have a walking pace that's fast enough to get me to the finish line. I do have a proof of time, so I will be able to start, I'm guessing, in Corral C, so that'll give me hopefully a half-hour edge on the balloon ladies. So if I can get up to a 16-minute mile, hopefully, I won't be able to stop, but it should give me a nice little cushion if I can only walk. So today is November 14th. First of all, it's my nephew's birthday. He's all grown up, but still happy birthday to my nephew. It's also Diabetes Awareness Day. It's the day within November that we celebrate and make aware of those with type 1 and type 2, but type 1 is the one that really affects my family. It's today. Today is the celebration for Dr. Banting discovering insulin. Basically, he I was at the University of Toronto, and with a group of other scientists and doctors, they worked with insulin from dogs at first, and finally discovered how to make it work with humans, and changed the world, basically. Like, this was only 100 years ago. It was 1921, so barely over 100 years ago. Kids were dying. They were barely making it past 6 or 7 after diagnosis. They were just withering away and DKA, and they had all these kids in the hospital just dying from DKA. And once they figured out how to make the insulin work, the story is they went into the ward, started injecting all the diabetic children with this insulin, and in a very short amount of time, they saw a turnaround with these kids. Like, they suddenly were able, they could eat, they could drink, they were alive again, and no longer just basically corpses in beds. And that was when they realized, oh, we did it. We figured out how to help all the diabetic kids. And so kids started living longer, and they're still living with complications, but they were living longer, and they were figuring out how to make the insulin work. And over 100 years, we've gone from using dog insulin to, I believe they used cow insulin for a while. I don't remember, because this was before my daughter's time. Now they're using a synthesized insulin and all this technology to have diabetics live a full life with very few complications. It's amazing. And he didn't patent the insulin. He wanted it to be available to anybody who could recreate it, companies, all that. So he never made money off of this invention. He did win a Nobel Prize, but he never made money off this invention. But he saved millions of lives. Like, my daughter would not be here today without this man and his team. So that's why we celebrate today. We give thanks to Dr. Banting. There's a statue of him at the University of Toronto about his discovery, and one day I hope to make it there.